good afternoon or good morning. This is Gilroy in Madrid. I don't know if anybody's out there. It doesn't seem like anybody's out there just yet. So this is a meeting, the first of 3 federal programs and career and technology meetings that we'll be having this week. The first one is today at lunchtime. The next one is Thursday, I believe it's 6 p.m. And then Saturday at 10 a.m. in the morning. So if you're out there, somebody posts a comment or something that says, hey, I'm here listening. I think there's a few viewers out there, whether you're on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. So if you're out there, just do a shout out. Let me know that you're there. Every year we have to have these meetings required by law. And so I am going to start off with a PowerPoint. And then at the end, I'm going to show you a few resources that we have that we see that are part of the current technology field. So, and a lot of them come from the Texas Workforce Commission. So I do appreciate that from the Texas Workforce Commission. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Add to stream. There we go. And I'm going to be at the bottom so that way you can see that better. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm not too sure. There's a few people in the room. Thank you for being here today. Again, this is the first meeting of 3. That is a career and technology meeting as well as federal programs meeting. This purpose of the meeting is to discuss federal programs, including career and technology education, and how parents, students, and schools can develop partnership to ensure success of all students. We will have 3 meetings. There are the dates and times. You can either be in person or you can go to Facebook Live or YouTube Live, because if it's on Facebook, you know it's the truth, right? I did try to put it on Twitter as well. So if you are on Twitter and you may or may not be able to see it, I'm not too sure because no one said anything about Twitter, but I do believe it's on Twitter as well. There is a Padlet here, which I am going to post it in the comments. It's important that you go to that because that information in the Padlet is what we need to go over with. So that I'm going to go ahead and click on that so you can kind of see what we're talking about. The first thing is there's a sign-in sheet. So if you don't mind sign in right there. Okay. And then here is another survey. So there's a sign-in sheet. It's real simple. You sign in. There is a survey that you'll need to fill out. And then these are links to the YouTube Live and the Facebook Live, which was put on the on our website, and I believe on Facebook and Twitter. And then here's some resources we're going to go over. And then if anybody has any comments or questions, you are more than welcome to hit a plus and add comments and questions right there. So first thing you do is you sign in right there. Pretty simple. Okay. And then later on, you'll need to fill out this survey. It's real important. These are just links to the videos out there live to the world. Okay. I'm going to go back to this screen. Okay. So this is an annual requirement for any school that receives federal funds that are called Title I Part A. That is just a definition of where the law is at. And if you really want to go to the law, you can read it right there. But again, it's just federal money that's given to students or to schools for students who are considered at risk or different requirements or different eligibility requirements that schools receive funds from. With that being said, we do have to have stakeholder meetings and input. And so we do get input from anybody and everybody. That's why it's real important to fill out the online survey as well as the sign-in sheet. Again, we do participate in it, and the whole idea is to improve student academics. And there is a parent-student compact, which is in all our handbooks at the beginning of the year that we pass out to parents. A lot of them are online now, but it is in there. And then the whole idea is that parents help make decisions relating to their education of their children. And so that is extremely important. And the whole idea is just to be in a partnership with parents as far as the academics and improving student academics throughout the whole year, especially as it impacts their children. The compact is part of actually, we have improvement plans and a district improvement plan that we put together every year, which is basically a blueprint for focusing on improvement. And the whole idea is to improve on STAR scores and end of course exam scores, and to get extra help for students. And then we have to coordinate our monies that we get from the federal government, including our local tax money, to be efficient as best we can. And how we engage parents is also a part of that. We do have parents and community people who are part of the campus improvement plan and the district improvement plans. So those are very important aspects of the Title I Part A program that we participate in, and many schools in Texas, if not the nation, do participate in that as well. The next thing is policy and compact. Again, we review and distribute that policy and compact through the campus handbooks and the website. It describes the role of parents. The elementary schools are required to have a parent-teacher conference once a year, and we try to do that in the first reporting period, right after the report cards come out, just so we can have a general idea of what the students are doing at the beginning and what we can do to improve on as well. I don't know if anybody's out there on Facebook or YouTube, but if you don't mind, just put a comment saying, yes, we're on, because I'm not too sure if anybody's out there. The policy and compact addresses parent and family engagement. We have to have flexible meeting times, activities throughout the year. We have to assess and look at how curriculum and assessment. Curriculum is just what we teach, and the assessment is how we test what we teach. And so that is a part of the parent policy and compact, where we just let parents know what's going on, especially with the instruction part of schools in the classrooms. And we provide any additional meetings with parents as needed, whether it's just for their child or any other type of program that they may need information on. They describe how parents, the compact describes how parents are, how they can help share responsibility, improving student learning, how to help with the curriculum instruction. A lot of people always want to know, well, why do you have to teach that? One, the crazy thing is there's laws out there that say we have to teach certain things, whether it's a Pythagorean theorem or food web. It's just things that the state of Texas requires us to have to teach students here in a public school. The whole idea is how we can support their parents, how they can support their children, and all the frequent communication between the school and home, and the importance of family decisions when it relates to the student's education. The curriculum, again, is a part of that as well. As we mentioned earlier, the biggest thing that drives curriculum and instruction is, unfortunately, in the game we play in Texas, is STAR tests and the course exams. Although we do know that there's so much more learning going on, that sometimes we get really focused on STAR and testing. But I believe that if we just do some generally good teaching, that we should do well on the STAR test and our local test. So unfortunately, the way the state says is they give grades to schools depending on those things. So it is important because it is public information, you know. So it is a game we play. The other thing that we have to look at is the school calendar and the STAR testing calendar as well. Meetings. Again, the meetings to inform parents with anything information they may need about their children. That's an important aspect of it, and that's why we're having this meeting today, and we're going to have 2 more this week. We use social media to help convey to parents and families about students and their learning, and so that is a part of it as well. There is a part that we have to tell people, and there's a reservation of funds, which is 1% of the Title I Part A, which basically means if we get more than $500,000, then we have to set aside a certain amount of money for parent and family engagement. And we actually do that. And we have a parent liaison, Mrs. Delacostas, who goes out and helps families and gets them to school, helps figure out what's going on if they need a little bit more help with whatever it is. And so we do have Mrs. Casas, who does an amazing job out there helping our families and our teachers and our students, just so that students can do better in schools and learn things that they need to do in school so they can be successful. And sometimes there's some parenting help involved. You know, sometimes we have to help parents, because I know sometimes it's real hard this day and age to be a parent sometimes. And so sometimes we do have to help with that as well. And that is okay. we're in the learning business and we're in the people business. We're out to help people learn to be better. And so that's what we're all about. Teacher qualifications is another part of the Title I program, and it basically says we have to, that anybody can request teachers qualifications from their teacher. It's in the handbook. You just gotta let the office know. There's also a website that you can go on and find out what teacher qualifications are. And so that is another aspect of it. There is parents' right to know about teacher certifications that teachers who do not meet applicable state requirements, we do have to mail letters home. And a lot of times it's in situations where you may have somebody who's got a master's in biology, and they may be an amazing teacher. And so it's things like that we have to look at to be able to have teachers that do the very best for our kids. Unfortunately, we do have, and including the state of Texas, we do have a lot of teachers that may not have a certification, but they're always working towards it to have a teacher certification. And we do a lot of things here in our district to help teachers get a certification as well. The other thing is that we evaluate policies to see if there's any barriers, see what parents need. If our interactions with the family and the school are successful, we use questionnaires, surveys, meetings, committees, also some different electronic evaluation tools, and just report any findings that we may find out, from situations. Now, these are the definitions of all, or the descriptions of all the federal programs that we participate in. There's Title I Part A, Title I Part C, migrant, there's teacher retention, Title II, Title III, I can go on and on and on. And all these letters and numbers on this end, that basically is a law in some federal government that references the things that we have to do in class. But the majority of funds are provided that we get from the government, provide extra staffing in the district just to lower classroom sizes. We also have some other monies from the federal government that was a result of COVID-19, the CARES Act, ESSER 1, 2, and 3, which we do have meetings on those as well every 6 months. And so we'll have another one, I believe, right before school starts. Title I Part A is basically improving basic programs, how we can help economically disadvantaged students, how we can help the entire educational program, and improve the lowest achieving students, using effective methods and instructional strategies just to help them. And so Title I Part A is migrant workers, is temporary seasonal workers of students who may travel because their parents work in seasonal work. A lot of it is related to farming. And so students, the whole idea is to make sure that those students are not falling through the cracks and that we can do the very best to help them succeed in school as they transition to being a high school graduate. So that is something that we also do, that we receive funds from the federal government. Title II, again, is supporting effective instruction, basically how we can make teachers be better. By improving student achievement, the quality and effectiveness of teachers, and supporting our teachers just to ensure that the students are getting the very best education possible. We all know that teachers are the most effective thing in schools to help students learn. And so we have some amazing teachers out there. And just like if we're in the learning business, we have to learn ourselves every year. We try to be better and do the very best for our students to improve on education. Title III is the English language learners and immigrant students. Again, that money is targeted specifically for students who may not have a good proficiency in English, okay? And the whole idea is to get them to pass their STAR test and to do well in school. We have Title IV Part A, which is, again, supporting students as a well-rounded education, academic outcomes, use of technology. Supplement, not supplant. What that basically means is that you can't just say, hey, I'm going to put all this money that we were going to spend on teachers. The money you were going to spend on teachers, you got to spend it anyway, plus this. Okay, so that's kind of what that means for that requirement. And again, that's kind of what I mentioned right there about what supplement means and supplant. Title V Part B, is Rural Education Initiative, or REAP. What it basically means is that we live in a rural area, and so because of that, we do get some money from the federal government to help educate our kids a little bit more, just because there are studies out there that shows students who in the rural areas may not be able to get all the benefits that they would if they lived in a bigger city. So that money is, again, part of the money that we receive from the federal government. Then there is Texas State Compensatory Education Program. That's a little bit different from the fact that it is a state of Texas pool of money that we get. The whole idea is to help disadvantaged students and at-risk students, increasing academic achievement and reducing the dropout rate of our schools. There's several different ways you could be an at-risk student. If you didn't pass from one grade level to the next, if you did not get a 70 or above in certain grades throughout the 7th, 8th, 9th, 7th grade through 12th grade, if you didn't perform satisfactorily on the STAR test, if you struggled on reading at the early elementary grade levels, if somebody is a parent or if they're pregnant, if they're in an alternative education program such as DAP, if they've been expelled, if a student is on parole, probation, or on some type of judicial system, they're considered at risk as well. If a student's dropped out, if a student struggles with the English language, if a student is part of the Department of Family and Protective Services or juvenile court or a law enforcement official, if a student is homeless as well, they are considered at risk. If they've been placed in a residential facility, and or if their parents or parent has been incarcerated or been in jail. We don't ask for that information unless we know it, whether a kid tells us or a parent tells us, but we're not going to just go out and flat out ask if someone's been in jail. So there's, and the crazy thing is people, well, why do you got to ask that? Unfortunately, the law requires us to say, make sure those kids don't fall through the cracks. And so that's the whole idea. And our goal here in Fort Stockton ISD is make sure no kid falls through the cracks. And we do our very best to educate students so they can do well in the future as well. This next part is the Perkins 5 Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment Supplemental Report. That is a long phrase that basically says, are your career and technology programs doing a good job for you in the school? And so there's all these crazy indicators here that the state of Texas puts together, and it basically says the name here, and then it says, okay, for your graduation rate, the statewide four-year graduation rate for career and technology learners. Now, when we talk about career and technology, we're talking about, like, a lot of people call it vocational classes, CATE. You know, it can be the ag classes, the metal shop, wood shop, technology classes, the what we call home economics, which is now a different name, family consumer science, you know, and people always wonder, why do y'all change the names? Believe me, the state of Texas changes them, and we have to just kind of go with the flow, you know, on figuring out if you know, what we're doing in their schools. So there's a four-year graduation rate, and if you notice, the district is higher than the state. We're about the same with the extended year graduation rate. And people are like, what does that mean? Well, that means that we have to keep track of kids who should have graduated at a certain grade year, that they have 2 or 3 more years to see if they can graduate. And then proficiency in the state test, the district is 54% as compared to the statewide average at 65. The math, you can see we're struggling a little bit there. Science, we're close. Post-program placement. What that basically means, if you have kids who went through a CTE program, do they continue to be in a program, whether it's nursing, whether it's auto tech, whatever it is, do they continue to go into a different program after that? That information is kind of, takes a little bit of a challenge to get, because you're working with the state of Texas, who then tracks those kids in different schools, whether it's a university or technical school. And so that information takes a little bit longer than normal. In fact, all this information, believe it or not, takes a little bit longer. This is the information for this school year to report, but it's actually maybe lagging a year or two behind, just because it takes quite a bit of a time to get that information. Then there's information on non-traditional program concentration. That is a big word. Basically says, do you have girls in auto tech classes or metal shop classes, and do you have boys taking CNA classes or family consumer science classes? That's what that basically means. It may not seem like a big deal, but the state of Texas says, hey, you need to make sure that you're kind of being a little bit equitable about that. And then program quality is that they attend a recognized certificate, like a CNA certificate, what have you. And then a CTE completer is that if students finish a selective program of study, certain classes, like, for example, Auto Tech 1, Auto Tech 2, Auto Tech 3, Auto Tech 4. And if they finish those, like if they finish those courses and they do well and they get a certificate, that's usually considered a completer in that situation. Now, these are the student performance factors that we're talking about. If you notice a minute ago, it's basically this chart, but in a graphical representation. Okay, so those indicators there are these indicators right here, and then this is the district numbers and the statewide numbers. So all of that is right there. It's just another representation for people who like bars and graphs instead of numbers. And so if you notice, those are prepared for the 2022-23 Comprehensive Local Needs Assessment. Then here is another indicator that compares CTE learners and non-CTE learners. And so if you notice, for the most part, our career and technology students do a better job than students who are not in career and technology. Now, I will tell you, for the most part, we have a lot of students who are in career and technology classes. And so it can range from ag classes to auto tech to wood shop to metal shop, you name it. Family consumer science, just different classes that help them be better in life and be better in the future. All our classes are like that, but these are a little bit different because you get some life skills that what some people would consider things they can do after they graduate high school. This here is another information that says labor market alignment. This is how many career CTE learners that we have in the high school the last time it was reported. We have 78 students in the business, marketing, and finance. We have 43 students in the health sciences, 40 in the human services, 25 in architecture and construction, 21 in hospitality, tourism, 18 in ag and food natural resources, 16 in the arts, go on and on and on. And so all of these are the career and technology areas that we have kids in. And so those are that is the information right there based upon, I believe it may have been a year ago or 2 years ago, but like I said, the information lags just a little bit because it's difficult for the state of Texas to get this information. Now, I wanted to share some information with you, okay? Because people always want to know, well, what's best for our region? What's best for Fort Stockton? And so there is a website, if you're not too familiar with it, it's the Texas Workforce Commission, okay? And when you click on it, it looks like this. And I will tell you, I'm going to show you, the reason why I'm showing you this is there's some great resources here that kind of let students know, parents know what to do, what their kids may be interested, but more importantly, what is the job market out there? Where are the jobs at? And what do I need to do to get a job that I want to maybe have a certain lifestyle? Okay. So there is a website, Texas Workforce Commission. If you go to job seekers and employees, right? And then career exploration and trends, right? Then down here at the bottom, emerging and evolving occupations. I'm going to click on that. Okay. That is also in the Padlet right here. It doesn't look that great, but it is over here. That's a Workforce Commission information. That is our local Workforce Commission information there. So I want to show you this website. This website's pretty cool, and I'll tell you why. There is a report here that tells us information about occupations. That's a summary of the report. This report here tells us if you look up any area in Texas, whether it's transportation or warehouse, you click on that, it tells you information about jobs. It's a very concise booklet of information about what kind of jobs there are in Texas and what the pay is, what the projection of growth is, and how many people we're going to need. Like, for example, I'm just going to use flight attendants. Flight attendants in 2018, there was this many, 15,468 flight attendants. By the year 2028, they're saying they need 17,230. The number of change will be 1,762 individuals, which is an 11.4% increase with the median average pay of $62,907. Okay. That is a Texas all-encompassing report. Okay. Now, let's just say you didn't want to read all that, right? I want to show you this Texas Career Check right here. All right. Texas Career Check, explore careers, occupational trends. Now, this is all the Texas regions, and it says the top 25 occupations for the state of Texas. Okay. Registered nurses are the number one occupation needed by the year 2028. Then general operational managers, heavy truck trailer drivers, accounts auditors, it goes on and on and on. Teachers are there, lawyers. I don't know why we need more lawyers, but I guess we do. Carpenters, real estate agents, there's some LVNs there. So this year there's middle school teachers. So top 25 jobs in Texas. Okay. Here's what you can also do. You can pick a region. All right. We are actually in Permian Basin region. Now you have to remember this. Okay. You have to remember that Permian Basin is all about energy and oil and gas and different aspects of that. So if you look at it, everything's going to be linked to the the top 25 occupations needed in our area. Projected, we're going to need 29,000 more heavy and tractor trailer truck drivers. Tells you the average annual salary, and it just goes on and on and on. Tells you all the other things that will be needed in our area based on labor market information. I will tell you, the majority of them have to do with the oil and gas industry. Of course, there's a few in there that electricians, again, registered nurses, all that's in there. So I wanted to show you that website. It is here, the great information here. There's a reality check. I want to show you the reality check. This is something you can show your kids or your parents or your friends or your neighbors or your aunts or uncles. It's a lifestyle calculator, okay? Start your reality check. All right, so you're going to pick that, and I'm just going to pick Odessa, okay? But you could have somebody say, I'm going to live in the big city. I'm going to Austin, Texas, right? So you would click on Austin, Texas, right? But I'm just going to use Odessa as an example, all right? There's Odessa, and it asks you a few questions. Who are you going to live with? At home, studio apartment, one-bedroom apartment, okay? Let's just say you're going to live in one-bedroom apartment because you're cool like that, all right? And then are you going to have internet, mobile phone? And if you notice, mobile phone is pretty cheap. That's not what I pay for my mobile phone, but it's a good indicator of what the average mobile phone would cost. You're going to need water, gas. You're going to need cable. You're going to need electricity. Next, are you going to eat at home and grab fast food, eat at home and dine out restaurants? I think for the most part, well, most adults and kids are in this area, so I'm going to shoot a little low, $400. All right. Then how are you going to walk? How are you going to get to places where you need to get to? Human power, 0, right? Public transportation, used auto, basic auto. I'm just going to pick the basic auto, all right, what it would, and then that's the cost. And then the next is clothing. I know that some kids probably have accessories, and then there's the basics. You have work clothes, and then you might have some shop to drop clothes. I don't know where they get $200 from, but that's just kind of conservative. So I guess this is a monthly amount of money you would spend on that. So I'm going to go to healthcare now. Do you have employer insurance? Do you have basic insurance, premium individual health insurance? Let's just do basic individual insurance, vision and dental care. As far as insurance, let's put that on there. Personal care, basics like toothpaste, soap, shampoo, professional services like manicures, haircuts, 125. Any extras? I'm just gonna put that. I won't put luxuries. I'm gonna put next is entertainment. A home bundle, a fun bundle. Let's just pick in the middle of the road, probably like $75, where you may go camping. There's a one like this kind of gives about movies and things like that. Let's just say you do movies too. All right. Next, if you have pets, if you have other items, if you want to go on vacation, but I know people are all about their electronics, but you will need some furniture, maybe not. And then if you have any student loan debt, let's just say you were going to get a certificate let's just say a nursing degree, which is usually a certificate and or associates. So let's just do that. And then next, how many kids are you going to have? Well, I ain't going to have no kids, right? But let's just say you have one, all right? Next. So do you plan on saving any money? Of course, when we're young, we think we don't have to save any money, but I recommend doing anywhere between 10, 7, 5%. Let's just say I'm going to do 5%, $264. So what it tells me, if I was to live in Odessa and I wanted all those things, I would need about 80, I'd have to make about $83,000. Okay. It's just something to let students know or people know, like, what am I looking at if I want a certain lifestyle? All right. So that is on that website as well. The other thing I wanted to show you is this. This is the Permian Basin Workforce Development Area 11. And so within our area here, it gives us the most needed jobs from 2020 to 2030. You're looking at fast food workers and counter workers like at stores. In the 10 years from 2020 to 2030, we're looking at needing at least 2,000 more individuals in our area. Heavy truck and tractor trailer drivers, you're looking at 1,500 more people within the 10 years. Now, what these two colors mean here in this area, what schools have to look at is they have to say, hey, you have to get a job that's in high market and high wage areas. This says here that there's going to be a high market, 29% more needed in fast food and counter workers like at stores, convenience stores, but it's not a highway and paid job. Heavy truck tractor trailers, there's a very low growth rate, but it's a very high pay. So right here, there's like service unit operator, oil and gas. There's 26% growth, and they pay pretty decent. I believe the number they come up with is a state number, like in 40-something $1,000. Here's another one: business management, general operations managers, and then it also tells you what you kind of need over here as far as a degree and what have you. Now, so if you notice here, this is our area. It's mainly, a lot of it is in energy. There's some business, there's some hospitality, there's construction laborers, there's home health. And you probably think, well, where are the teachers at? Well, here's what it does. I wanted to show this, is that when you look at it, it divided up teachers in elementary teachers, substitute teachers, secondary school teachers, middle school teachers, self-enrichment teachers, tutor teachers, preschool teachers, on and on and on. So when you add them all up together, you're looking at about 800 more needed in this area within the 2020 to 2030 years, within the decade. I suspect it's going to be much higher than that, and that's just in our area. So who knows what's going on in the state of Texas. All right. So that website, I just wanted to show you because it's a very interesting website. It is on the Padlet that I believe is right here. There's Texas Workforce Commission. This information here is our local Workforce Commission number. There it is right there, located at 461 South Highway 285. I believe that's kind of close to the old hospital by the park. So if you have any questions about that, or where can I get some help with jobs, or what do I need to know in the job market, that's a good place to start. And let me go back to this. That's the website where we talked about a minute ago, the Workforce Commission information about careers. We are in Region 11 when it comes to the labor market information. This is the vocational input information that I'd like for you to fill out. Please fill out. If you have any questions about whatever it is in the schools, those are the campus contact phone numbers. Each campus has about 2 or 3 phone numbers. Sometimes when the lines go down, then where you have no phone numbers, right? So those are all the numbers there. These are the principals at the campus currently. So those are the email addresses and phone numbers. So if you have any questions, they are the people you go to if you have any questions. I believe I am done. So with that being said, I don't see any comments, and I don't know if it's disabled or what, because it's been a while. So with that being said, thank you for being here. It is 12:35 p.m. We've been here for about 35 minutes. Thank you for your time. There's about 12 viewers out there. You guys are awesome. I am going to end this meeting, and we'll have another one, I believe, on Thursday at 6 p.m. and then the second one on Saturday at 10 a.m. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all you do for your children, and hope everybody has a great summer. I know that when the summertime is over, parents are like, please take my kid, and we will, because we love kids, and your kids are our kids. So you guys, thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you on Thursday.